So let's get into the challenge for this lesson. Lesson 2, the CSS property challenge. We're going to use everything we've learned so far, but let me walk you through my thought process real quick. Over here in the W3 link, I've added just the reference point in case you wanted to really start over or find something you didn't totally understand when we were going through the slides. Just kind of like a backup plan here. But what I want you to do is actually open up this property. You can work on it here, but I found it to be a little confusing. All we're going to do is we're going to be completing these 6 or 7 properties by changing the contents of each one of these boxes. Right? But it gets a little stuck in here. Well, it's a little tight because I've tried to include everything that you need. All you need to do is add the properties, but I did find a couple people confused when I tested this challenge out. So I've added this link here, the code pen. That's where we're going to do our work. And we're going to open this up so we can see it a lot more clearly. Now you can do this too and you can follow along. Now all I've added here is kind of a bunch of stuff that goes around everything. But really what we're focusing is this one will challenge you on using the color attribute. And then each one of these, color property, and each one of these will ask you to complete a property inside of this element. And they're all set up where the only thing you need to do is add the property and the value. So we see here heading, forget about that. Basics challenge over here, right? We're gonna scroll down here to color, which is our very first one. And we're gonna check in on this again in a second. In fact, let me change this view. Who remembers how to do this? Here we go. Much better. And forget about this. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about this. What we need is here. So let me test you right now as you're listening. This CSS color class is this text here and only this text. So what do we do to change the color of this text? Same thing over here. In this space, we're going to ask you, how do you change the background color to this text? So all you're doing is writing the property and the value right here in this empty spot for each one, following along with the instructions over here, or you can read the actual code right here. And there's a space for each one of these. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to pause the video and get started, and then I'm going to run through it. So for the first one, change my text color. So what is the property that we use to change colors in CSS? The text color. In this case, it is the word color. I'm going to change that to red. And you can see this changed to red, and once it's done, you're good with that part of the challenge. Moving on to the next one, background color. I wonder which one is the one that changes the background color. You're right, it is background color itself. Ooh, now I notice I'm affecting the master branch here. Give me 1 second to make sure I didn't make too many changes. Let me just open this up again. Perfect. Let me just add this back. And it should change to red. Okay. Now the background color property is the word background dash color. Let me change that to red. And you see that it turned red completely. For the third one, for font size, also simple. We're just adding the word font dash size. And then we're going to change that to 30px so we can see a big change. Ah, there it is. Text decoration, we're going to add an underline where there is none. So we're going to do text dash decoration underline. You see the syntax change. That means you're in really good shape. Boom, that one's good. Let's add a border to this one. The easiest way to do it is to just do border solid. That counts. But let's change it to the traditional red 1px. Oops. So we're good with that one. And then last but not least, font family. I'm going to keep this one very simple. We do font dash family. Feel free to pause it if I'm going too fast, but I think by this point we've worked on these to death and we're ready to move on. The font family that we're going to choose is Impact because it's built in. And you'll see that your font family changed. If you completed all of these correctly and even were able to maybe add a different kind of underline or change the border around here, or change a different font, or use REMs, or change the text color here along with the background color, anything you want to do, I'm leaving you space to do it. And if you ran through it, then congratulations, and you have a foothold on CSS. That's it for this challenge. We're going to be using CSS and HTML a lot in the next couple lessons. But the next one was going to wrap it up for CSS for now. And we're going to jump back into CSS when we're creating our full websites on Glitch in a couple weeks. See you then.